What's going on, everybody? Dave here, and for today we are going to be going over all the parts that are included in the Mechanicore ZERSTÖREIN MAS-14 Penelope. And let me say, I've kind of gone through everything. Looks pretty good. Few issues. We'll go over those when we get there. Do love the front shot on this. Sorry for the glare. It's so hard for me to try and not get glare for you guys. Alright, so going over, we get a front shot. Open this sucker up. If you want, you can pause this and read if you want. It does tell you, if you need any exchanges, anything like that, to do it within 5 days of, receiving the product. 15 and up, LEDs provided, recycled paper, recycled plastic, choking hazard, blah 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 blah. I believe this is in Chinese down here, and then you've got English up here. You get a part layout. There is something, and I haven't quite figured it out. Maybe when I get there it'll make more sense. I just separated the parts per runner. They do have sections off as part A through whatever, and then part 1 through whatever. You get A, B, D, and I'm assuming since this is the second kit after the 15, the XI, that some of those parts were used for that, some of them swapped over. I'm assuming that's what the deal is with that. But you get A, B, D, you get beam saber parts, which I thought looked actually pretty good. And of course the runners are in color. So going over, give you an overview. Manual is pretty big, so I'm not going to linger on this too much. Your photo etch, all your LED system showing you how they should be, put together. I think there's going to be some soldering done. Now this is the exclusive version, so it does come with another V-fin, all these extra decals, some extra color parts, beam sabers, and an extra gun. So we'll get into that. Going over the assembly instruction. And it's actually going to start you off with, it looks like, your skirt armors. Shields here. I think that's what it is, or this could just be for the shield. Unlike Bandai kits where it'll build the whole kit and then go over the weapons, it looks like this actually starts off with the weapons. You get your head assembly. Very simple, minimal parts. Let's see here. You get the I think this goes on the chest piece over here. It's got the cockpit, all your sections for your wiring. You build 2 of these. These are for the backpack pieces. You get your arms, looks like some skirts or shoulder pieces, arms. You get the wing assembly. And for being 1/100 scale, this thing is going to be a beast. You get where your photo etch goes in here for vents. You get your leg assembly. Going over the parts, the frame does not look any different than a 1/100 scale G system frame. So just, if you've done one of those, you already know what to expect. You get your assembly on here. And this is where parts like this for the feet, the colored part, you can rotate. You can either use the red or you can use the blue that come with the exclusive parts. Here, showing you for your photo etch and your thrusters. You get your chest piece. And I'm really hoping that this goes together well and doesn't end up being all floppy. You get your main assembly instruction. You get more assembly. And part of me is really glad that they did it in a book form and not the 3D movie thing, though I think they might have that. Just follow the book, a lot easier. After sale, I have an issue with this. I was reading over this. So let's say you're missing a piece off of the runner. Well, it's saying that the bag must be sealed. You must take a photo of that and report the missing piece. Well, in a lot of these bags, there's 3 or 4 runners. If the missing piece is in the middle runner, you're not going to see it until you open it. If there's a loose piece or a broken piece, then you have to send them pictures of that. This is, it says a stipulated reason for a quality problem is minor and insignificant. Defect found common in all same products. These are things that do not qualify. Defect in question is generated inevitably under normal operation in the product processes. What else is there? In any case of drop-off parts from plastic runners inside relevant bags, this does not qualify for a claim or exchange of whole related plastic runner. Keep that word plastic in mind. We're going to hit on that here in a second. Drop-off parts not found in said bag before it is opened up. Please take photo shot of missing part among the said plastic runner in the unopened state. Send it to your dealer as evidence. We will arrange for the dealer to for free replacement of said parts. Such request is needed within 5 days. The maker reserves all rights of interpretation in requirements to be qualified for free replacement parts and accessories of the product, meaning they can choose not to. That's something that's really itchy with me. But let's see here. And then you get for all your decal placement. And I thought there was another sheet here. It might be on one of the others for the exclusive decals. But yeah, there are a lot of decals that are going to go on here. And then you get your back shot. And this will, let me zoom in here. Hopefully it's all in focus for you guys. All right. So getting that out of the way. And I haven't taken these out, and I don't plan on it. But here are your decal shots. I'm sorry for the glare, I can't help it. But these are the instructions for the exclusive decal placement, the camouflage armor. So I do like the way they're packaged, though. So here's this one. Now, something that's a little itchy is I can see, if you, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, the plastic is actually kind of stuck to the decals, so I'm hoping that does not affect in the end. I'm just kind of moving around, and it does seem to come off okay, but that is a concern of mine. So yeah, you get plenty of these, the camouflage decals. Then here is your normal water slide decals that come with it. Alright, so as you can see, looks pretty good. Venting's good. There is a plastic sheet on front and back, and that's just to keep it from corroding or any pieces coming loose. You can see all the pieces are the way they stamped it. They're already trimmed for you. So all you have to do is on some of them maybe bend them. But these sheets come loose, and I believe they're, so they did a lot of work for you. So technically you guys should really thank them for that. That's actually awesome that they did that. If you've ever had a G-System kit, man, it can be a pain in the rear trying to, because this is so thick, of trimming it off, and then you have to file it and everything else. So props to Mechanicore for that. That's actually awesome. Runner A, you're going to have hand parts here. Yes, it does kind of look like a master grade hand. Quality could be cleaner. As you can see, there's flash, kind of sludgy material on there. We'll have to see how the pieces go together. Yes, there is texture on everything on this kit so far. I think that's just the way that it's going to be, and I'll touch on that on the end. So there's runner A. Runner B, there's two of. These are going to be your arm pieces. I'm not sure why they had this big ass section over here. That's just open, but runner D is going to be in a white, just stark white. Panel lines and stuff like that, I think the detail on that is actually great. But again, there is texture on everything. So that's all going to depend on whether you have the patience to sit there and sand it off or deal with it as is. Runner G, you can see there's some warping of this part, but doesn't seem to affect this. There is some, like, I found on a couple of the pieces, this black stuff. I don't know what it is, but it only seems to be on the, like, the red runners. Pieces are okay. There are some scratches and stuff on here, some imperfections. It's a third-party kit. You're not going to get the Bandai press quality or injection quality. Moving on, runner K you get two of. Look to be leg assemblies, and again, if you've done a G-System frame, all these pieces are going to look familiar to you. The only difference is they're just injected. Runner L, you get some feet pieces, looks like backsides of skirts. There's two of those. Runner M, there's actually two of. And these are some armor pieces. And this is one of the things I don't understand, why there's the separation between letters and numbers, but yeah, so letter M looks like knee pieces here. There's two of these. I can't tell. I'm not seeing a lot of warping. That part's good. There is seam lines, but most of them are hidden on the backside of, or mold lines, I should say. You get some offsets, but they're seem to be on the edges here. It's not the prettiest, but it could be a lot worse. Runner S is another funky configuration where you have this big chunk over here. Looks like the waist section, joints, oddball its and bits over here, thruster sections. Alright, continuing on with the runners, and these are in the numeric. Now on this one, this is going to be your runner 01. These are going to be armor pieces on here, and yeah, there's texture on all of them. So you are going to be sanding, but we'll see how the assembly. I'm more concerned with how the assembly goes on this. Runner 2, there's actually two of. Exterior armor pieces. There are some waves and stuff in the armor pieces. These are going to have to be sanded down. You can see the backside. I've never understood why companies, the third-party companies, cannot get their molds as smooth as, let's say, Bandai. I mean, because I know they use like either aluminum or steel type molds. So I don't understand why they can't, unless their master, which is a 3D printed or so forth, they just haven't cleaned up. That's the only explanation that I can find. Runner 3, This is going to be in a yellow, kind of a mustard yellow. And as you can see, lots of panel lines, lots of details. So there's no problems with that. Get some vents. There are 2 of these. Now here's something I was impressed with. Runner 4. I was impressed with the fact that when I took this out of the package, there's a clamshell over the V-fin that's on here to protect it. That is a fantastic idea. Props for that. But there's only 1 runner of these. Alright, moving on to runner 5. Now this is, I want to say it's in a red, but it's almost a coral color. Not quite red. It's very odd. It looks red in the picture, but trust me, in person it's more of a salmon coral color. You get weapon pieces, you get feet pieces, which brings us to this section of runner 5, and these are in the navy pieces, in the dark blue, so you can alternate and choose which color that you want. That's a cool option. I don't know if it was worth an exclusive, but runner 6. This is a lovely thing that's going to end up being dipped in the purple power here in a little bit. This is almost like an anodized type. It's a greenish metallic, which is horribly done. I really didn't want to mess with my actually I don't want to mess with my focus because it's so small, but if you can see on here, there's actually a bubble. It's a run is what it is. So like they dipped it this way, there's actually runs on pieces. So here it is perfectly smooth, looks perfect. Some smooth pieces here on these pipings, they're smooth, but the rest of these pieces, they all have texture, they're all rough. So I don't know. Piston pieces down here, you do get 2 of these runners. I don't like the metallic on here, it's going to come off. Runner 8. Now this is in a, I don't know if you want to call it a powder blue or a bluish gray. But yeah, so there's shield pieces on here. Again, texture is quite bad on some of these. I don't know if you guys can see it from the reflection, but it is rough. And I hate to say it, though it looks like the quality is better as far as production, but at the same time the texture quality is just, it seems to be just as bad as the Kshatriya, which was not done by them, it was done by Alien. But runner 9 you get 2 of. You get 1 extra because the exclusive, if you get the normal version, you only get 1. This is for the gun. Runner 10 you're going to get 2 of. You get shield pieces, armor pieces. Runner 11, wing pieces. You can see good panel lines. The panel lines are nice, sharp, straight. Gotta give them that. More armor pieces, its and bits here and there. Runner 12, you get these pieces. I'm sure these are for the back wings. These things are massive. They're about 12 inches in length by themselves. So this guy, even though he's 1/100 scale, he's going to have some girth and depth to him. Runner 14, more armor pieces. Runner 15, more armor pieces. The cockpit unit, flight unit, whatever you want to end up calling it. Some skirts, some head pieces on here, sides of the head, faceplate. Runner 13, more white. Now I find it amusing that these pieces don't have as much of the surface detail or aberration, however you want to call it, as the others do. I find that kind of odd, but so they're smoother. And you do get a little figure, like a flight figure. If you look at him real close, he kind of looks like a little mini Lego man. Runner 16. I believe these are feet pieces over here. Maybe ankle, some of the backpack pieces. And these don't have the same detail as far as surface detail as the others. Again, very odd on there. Runner 18. More pieces. Look like thruster pieces over here. Great detail. I mean, I got credit. It has to be, you know, where it's due. The detail and stuff is great. Unfortunately, you have the extra surface detail, so you're not going to get a smooth surface. Runner 17. These are going to be feet pieces, other miscellaneous. I think that's either ankle or bottom of the feet. This looks, if I remember correctly, is off of backside of a knee joint. Weapon barrels, stuff like that. Alright guys, coming up on the end of it here, you have 07, which is going to be a clear neon green. So you guys see it. Good detail on the backside of them, so they'll look good with the lighting behind it. On this runner, I'm not sure if they're labeling it 0R, F. I can't make out what it says on there. You guys can kind of see it, but these are in a clear blue. It does have a detail behind it, so I'm assuming there's a light behind it. The surface detail is okay. There is some lines in here. It's smooth. I mean, it's perfectly smooth. Why they couldn't do that with the rest of the kit, I don't know. But for your poly runners, which is a little bit concerning, these are all the only poly caps that are used. Feels like okay material. It doesn't feel like the cheap palm crap that you get from G System. So it feels really similar to what you would find with like a Bandai kit. So hopefully it holds up as well. Next up, you have the beam sabers, and these things are huge, and it looks like they just made a copy of the RX-78 beam sabers. One thing I gotta give them though, they are smooth. There is a minor seam line, of course, on here, but no texture detail. Good color. Now for some of the exclusive parts, you get the V-fin, which I believe this is metal, pre-painted and everything. And so this is part of the exclusive, though I kind of like the way that the plastic one looks better. I think the fin details look better. Another part of the exclusive is going to be these metal beam sabers, and I don't believe that these have lights, though they could. They do. And they don't provide batteries, which is going to be a pain in the butt, because those are going to be some micro batteries. But you got the instructions on the back here showing you how to put in the batteries and everything. Did not have good luck with the G System version of these. They they shorted out and killed the LEDs like in no time flat. Now for your metal parts here, you get screws, more screws. You get some of these push pins. You get a spring, 2 screws. You get an Allen key. If I know my China products, don't bother using this. Get one from a good toolkit, something like that, because it will round the edges and just give you a nightmare. So just use a good one, Stanley, something like that. More screws, different screws, just all screws. You get a lot of nuts over here. You get 2 more push pins, some more screws, some longer screws, some other screws. You feel like you've been screwed. Okay. And then lastly, yes, I know, lastly, you end up with this. Now these are the thruster units, thruster pieces. Now what would have been super awesome is if they actually labeled these, what color they were supposed to be. And yes, you get some micro LEDs. You pretty much have to do the wiring, put everything together yourself. So that's going to be good times. But yeah, other than what's in the instructions, I still think that they should have done some kind of labeling system or a little flap of something on the LEDs to let you know what color that they were. something like that. And then you get the thruster units. So you get that. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope everybody enjoyed the overview of the Penelope. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Going to mess around with it a little bit, just see how pieces go together. It looks interesting. There are a few concerns. Let me go over those concerns. One, the LED system going through. You're going to have some knowledge on setting up, doing the wiring, all that good stuff, because you're having to pretty much do it from scratch, other than, you know, there's some wiring assembly here with the buttons. Two, texture on all the pieces. Another concern. The quality of the pieces look better than the Ellen Cassatria, but the texture is just as bad. If you're someone that's wanting to have a good surface, you're not going to get Bandai quality with that. That being said, Bandai's never going to make this because it's just too beastly, and it would be too expensive for Bandai to make this. It would cost as much as a perfect grade, and I don't ever foresee them doing it. So sorry, guys. 3, I'm going to have to run some tests on these pieces, and I'm going to do it on the runners, because the texture, anyone that has built, let's say, a Bandai kit or a Kotobukiya kit, there's a texture, there's a feeling and a sound when the plates bang against each other, and I don't get that with these. These feel plastic, and that's why I said when we went over the instructions, you know, to pay attention to that word plastic. They use the word plastic a lot, and even on, you know, on here, 1/100 scale plastic model kit. I know styrene is considered a plastic, but I'm having a feeling, especially with the texture and everything, that this is literally plastic. It feels like a kid's toy as far as quality of the runners and the pieces and everything. It feels like plastic, toy plastic. So that being said, I'm gonna run some tests and see how, like, the styrene glue, if it even works on it, if it melts it. If it is styrene, it's a different grade. It's not like any of the Hasegawa or Wave, Bandai, or Kotobukiya type. So we'll have to see, and, you know, well, I'll let you guys know when we get into it. Overall, is it worth the price? I don't know. You know, this is running around $200, I think, for the exclusive. If it was $100, $120, yeah. $200, I don't know. I won't be able to give you a determination on that until I actually build it. Fun-wise and build-wise, this bitch will keep you busy, that's for sure. So let me get into it. I will give you guys an update later on. I've got a bunch more unboxings for you guys to do. If you've been wondering why I've been doing only unboxings and no build videos, is because I have a giant stockpile behind me between kits that are on loan to me to show you guys, and kits that I have from new type builds to do reviews on, and I'm just playing catch up. Plus I've got my second channel. I've got a bunch of stuff going on, so that's about it. And I'm trying to catch up and load you guys up before what is it, October, November gets here, and Fallout is released, because you guys won't see me for a couple weeks. Sorry, that's just the way it is. I might post up some gaming vids, but that's about it. So stick around, got a lot more stuff coming for you. I'm going to edit this now and shorten it down so it's not so long, cut out a bunch of gaps, And I think that is about it. More vids coming up this week. Definitely check over. I think I've got a link down below. If not, just Google it. Dave's World Views and Reviews is my other channel, which I've been putting up videos, and I'm going to start putting up some rants and other things just to keep them off my thing. And that is my process of quitting smoking, everything else. Everyone have a great day. I will talk to you all later. As usual, peace out, YouTube.